Before that, I will recite the Mangalacharan prayer. Whoever can recite with me, they can recite with me also. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Pam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanyam Namne Gauratu Se Namaha Jai Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastaprayesu Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna everybody and welcome you all to this Shrimad Bhagwatam class this evening. We have discussed already 10 incarnations. So today we will begin from 11th incarnations. As you know, these are all the incarnations we discussed yesterday. Agnadev, Krishabdev, Prithvi Maharaj and Matsya Avatar. So we stopped here yesterday. Today we'll continue from the 11th incarnation, which is Kurma Avatar. So this 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandarachal hill, which was being used as churning rod by the theist and atheist of the universe. Theist and atheist means the devotees and demon. Okay. So there are 12 and 13 is Dhanvantari and Mohini Avatar. So in the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantari, and in the 13th, he allured the atheist, means demon, by the charming beauty of a woman and gave nectar to the demigod to drink. So these 11, 12, and 13 have a one common pastime, sort of a. So I will describe about that common pastime of all these three incarnations, and then we'll talk about individual also. So All right. So here I'm gonna describe a story that made these three incarnations, 11, 12, and 13, the Kurma avatar, which is tortoise, Dhanvantari, and Mohini avatar, as you can see here. So the story was like that. One time Indra, Indra is the king of heaven. So one time he was riding on the elephant. His elephant name was Airavat. Now he came across a sage whose name was Durvasa. So Durvasa offered this king Indra a special garland. Then Indra accepted it as a gift, but then he placed it on the trunk of the elephant. So when he placed it on the trunk of the elephant, what happened? Because of those flowers, there were fragrance coming out from the flowers. So some bees came around it. So this Airavat elephant, he kind of get annoyed by the bees. So he threw the garland on the ground. So that makes Durvasa angry. And therefore, Durvasa cursed Indra and all the demigod to be bereft of all strength, energy, fortune, like that. So that was Durvasa Muni's curse was there on Indra. Indra is kind of a king of heaven. So all the demigods lost the strength and fortune. So then what happened? In battle, following that incident, the demigods were defeated and the demons under the leadership of Bali Maharaj, they started controlling the universe. So here, the demigod then went to Vishnu for help, who advised them that the Asuras right now is in a different situation, so the time is not right. So he advised them to act in a diplomatic way, sort of. So what happened, this demigod and demon, they tried to make a friendship and jointly they decided to churn the ocean. By churning the ocean, their intent was to get a nectar. Nectar, amrut, in Sanskrit it says amrut, means one who drinks that nectar becomes immortal. He will not die, like that. So that's why they made a peace agreement, demons and demigod, that let us churn the ocean, and when the amrut or nectar will come out, when we drink that nectar, we will become immortal. So this was the condition. The churning of the ocean of milk, it was kind of an extensive process, So for that reason, they have to, Lord has to appear and take 3 avatars, 3 incarnations, And as a matter of fact, there are so many other items before the nectar came out from this thing, but I will discuss that a little later. I will discuss first about the tortoise incarnation, which is Kurma avatar, sort of. So this Kurma avatar, kind of a tortoise form, when the Mandar mountain rests upon the Lord Kurma's cell, Kurma, tortoise have a very thick and strong cell. So he seems like a huge island there, and that is 800,000 miles wide. Now, the reason that Lord took this Kurma form is that Mandara mountain it was a steady while it is being used as a churning rod to churn the ocean of milk by the demigod and demon. So during this activity, what happened? Demigod and demon uprooted Mandara mountain from where it was to use as a churning rod, and also requested Vasuki, the king of Sarman, to serve as a churning rope. The rope isn't shown here, but there is a churning rope, which is it goes around the Mandara mountain, and one end held by demons and one end held by demigod, like that. So they were doing it. So now to serve these churning rope, which is serpent, what happened? Slowly, that mountain started sinking in it, and to support that mountain, Lord has to take this Kurma avatar. Kurma avatar means tortoise, so that the Mandar mountain can rest on the back of the tortoise, which is hard shell, sort of. So that way it will stay steady. So that was the intent of this Kurma avatar. So the Lord, in a form of a Kurma avatar, entered the water and held the great mountain on his back. So the mountain moved back and forth with a churning motion, scratching the back of Lord Kurma, and the Lord was enjoying kind of somebody scratching his back, and he was feeling itching sensation, but it was pleasing to him. That is what it is described here. Now, before we go to Dhanvantari and Mohini avatar, there are many items came out from the ocean by churning process. So there are like 14 items came out. So there is one verse also described in our scripture. So I will recite that first, and then I will name those 14 items that came out of the ocean, and then we will go to the description of Dhanvantari and Mohini. So the 14 items described in this sloka, which says like Lakshmi ko stubha parijata kasura Dhanvantaris chandrama gavo kamaduda Sureswara gajo Rambadide Vangana Asvaha Saptamukho Sudaharidanu Sankho Visam Chambuje Ratnanadi Chaturadasam Pratidinam Kuravantu no Mangalam. So Ratna means these 14 items called Ratna that came out from the ocean. Chaturdas means 14. So this sloka is for invoking in auspiciousness, So that is why sometimes on auspicious prasang or any celebration, we sing this mantra. So these 14 items are, first mention is Lakshmi, which is the goddess of fortune. Then there is Apsaras there, Kamdhenu guy, Surbi cow, Airavat elephant, Utsrava, seven-headed horse, Kaustubh Mani, Parijat, then powerful bow, Sarang, Dhanus, then Chandrama, Dhanvantari, poison, Sangh, and at the end, Amrut, So these are the things came out of the uh, ocean when they were churning. There is one interesting uh, point when they were churning where it says that uh, Samudra Manthan, this churning process release number of things which I mentioned, but also Vishnu means when he take the incarnation, he told the demigod, he knew that Vasuki would vomit poisonous flame when twisted and pulled. And therefore, he advised the devas to hold the tail end of it, tail end of the snake, So without telling them the reason. Now, so what happened in the beginning, devas held the end of the snake, while the asuras held the tail end. So asura means demon. So demon did not like to be at the back of the snake because there's normally, the end part of the body is considered inauspicious. So they wanted to help toward the mouth. But that was Vishnu's plan actually. He says that let these demons be on a mouth side, and you to beginning they switch just to know the psychology of these demons, So that was very interesting point there. So while the devas taking advice from Vishnu agreed on this method, on this part also. So that was interesting point in this churning of the ocean. Now, after all these items came out, then at the end, that Dhanvantari, which is Amrut, you can see in the second picture here that he came with a pot of nectar, and that personality is described here. Dhanvantari is the incarnation of Lord Krishna who inaugurates the medical science. The ancient Vedic literature deals with all types of knowledge, material and spiritual. It includes scientific system of medicine known as Ayurveda to cure the disease of embodied living being. So what is the feature of the Dhanvantari which is described here? He was strongly built like a lion with very good feature, as you can see in this picture. His neck resembled a conch shell and his eyes were reddish. He looked very young and his complexion was blackish. He was garlanded with flowers and dressed in yellow garment. We don't see much garment here. He was decorated with brightly polished earrings made of pearls, bangles, and various ornaments. In his hand, he carried a jug. You can see that shows the jug filled to the top with nectar. And the reason he comes to deliver nectar from the churning of the ocean of milk, when the milk ocean had been churned by the demigod and demon, Dhanvantari rose slowly from the ocean, holding a jug containing nectar. When demons saw this, they quickly snatched it from him. The demigod became very frightened, and then they prayed to the Lord Vishnu. So Lord created a quarrel amongst demons and the demigod. And they started fighting over who should drink the nectar first. So the Lord then incarnated as a beautiful female form called Mohini Murti. So that is the picture above. You can see that. Why Mohini Avatar came? To bewilder the demons and take back this nectar for the demigod. That was the purpose of Vishnu. So Vishnu again took a third incarnation during this process of churning of the ocean, which is Mohini Murti. And that was 13th incarnation. So here this description is given that Mohini Murti is the form of the Lord as an enchanting, beautiful woman, as you can see in the picture. Her complexion resembles newly grown blackish lotus in color, and every part of her body is beautifully balanced. She has a thin waist and wears a beautiful sari. She is decorated with many precious ornaments such as bangles, earrings, necklaces, and ankle bells. Of course, we cannot see the ankle bells here. She smells of a wonderful fragrance, and her hair, which is extremely beautiful, is garlanded with mallika flowers. Now, the Lord becomes the form of an extremely beautiful woman to bewilder the demon and to take back the nectar that is stolen from Dhanvantari and deliver it to demigod. That was the purpose of this incarnation. So let's see what they. So Mohini Murti, when Mohini Murti came after the churning of the milk of ocean, when Dhanvantari rose from the milk ocean, carrying the jug of nectar, the demon snatched it. So the demigod, being frightened, prayed to the Lord for the help. So the Lord created an argument amongst them and then appeared as a Mohini Murti. She had an exquisite, beautiful form that completely bewildered the demons. She took the pot of nectar to distribute it amongst them all. Bewildered by her charming ways, they accepted. However, she chose to divide it, but she tricked them by giving the nectar to the demigod. But Rahu, who was on the demon side, noticed that she was doing this, so sat in between the demigod line and managed to take a sip of the nectar. Just then Mohini killed that Rahu with her Sudarshan disc, cutting off his head. So Rahu's head became immortal, having been touched by the nectar. So this is the brief account of these three incarnations, Kurma Avatar, Dhanvantari, and Mohini Avatar. Right? So we'll move to the next one, which is Lord Narsingadev, which is very much familiar, very much, most of you probably know and heard about it. Those who go to ISKCON temple, you know, the Narsingadev appeared to save Prahlad Maharaj. It's in the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Narsingadev and bifurcated the strong body of it is Hiranyakasipu with his nails, just as a carpenter pierces his cane. So there is a little story about that too. I mean, in 7th Canto, we will learn in detail, but we'll discuss about few points on this Narsingh Avatar. So basically, this Narsingh Avatar, as we know, his father was Hiranyakasipu, and he was the king of demons, and he wanted to be immortal, and he wanted to be more powerful as well. So he went to Mandara Hill to meditate upon Lord Brahma to get power and to become immortal. So he did severe austerity. He pleased the Brahma, and when Brahma came, to ask for a boon, he asked for immortality. That means he will never die. But Brahma told him that I also have to die, so I cannot give you that boon, immortality. So then the Hiranyakasipu kind of thought about it. And then he asked so many boons roundabout way that he may not die. So his condition was like this. Hiranyakasipu was very upset hearing this, and he thought for a while, and finally he asked that he should not be killed by man, demigod, or animal. That means, he's trying to get immortality roundabout way. Second thing he asked is, he should not be killed inside or outside the house or home or whatever. And third thing he asked is, he should not be killed in daytime or nighttime. he should not be killed by any kind of weapon, man-made or devatas. And he also asked for that he should not be killed on land, water, or air. So what is the place left? He said he will not be die. He cannot be killed on land, not on water, not on air. Okay. So these are kind of a boon that he asked, and Brahma says, Tathastu, so be it. You know. So that way he got that boon from Brahma, and he was kind of trying to harass the all these demigods in a very cruel way. Now, as we know, he had a son named Prahlad. So Hiranyakasipu sent for Prahlad and asked him, he sent Prahlad to the school to learn something, you know. So when Lord Brahma gave the boon to Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyakasipu came back as a powerful demon now. His wife name was Kayadu. He had a son named Prahlad, and Prahlad went to Gurukul to learn about the topics of politics and economics, and that was the desire of Hiranyakashipu, you know, because he wanted that his son should learn politics, you know. But what had happened that Prahlad, when he was in the womb of Kayadu, Narad Muni gave him instruction in Bhagavad Dharma and devotional service. So he was a devotee right from the beginning in the womb of his mother, you know. So whatever the teacher taught didn't affect him. Instead, he was teaching the classmates regarding this devotional service, you know, like Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, like that. You know, and one day the Hiranyakasipu became curious and he wanted to know, you know, what my son have learned. So they called upon Prahlad Maharaj, and Hiranyakasipu asked him, you know, that what did you learn? And then he says about this, that this is what I have learned. So then Hiranyakasipu was mad on the teachers, you know, they were sons of Sukracharya. He was mad on teachers that why are you teaching this? So teachers told him that we did not teach him this. I don't know where he got it that from. So Hiranyakasipu told that they might have somebody else must be coming to this. Please make sure that, you know, nobody comes there to teach him like that. And then he sent them again. Then again after some time he called Prahlad and the same thing. And now Hiranyakasipu was real mad, and he says that where is your power coming from? Then you know, Prahlad says, my dear father, my best of the asuras, this power, wherever, you know, my power is, your power is coming from the same place. Your power and my power is the source is Vishnu. So when he heard the Vishnu's name, he was even more angry. And then he ordered his servants to kill him, you know. And many ways they tried to kill him, like they tried to throw him from the mountain. They tried to put him in the, you know, the many snakes. They tried to give him poison. So many ways they tried to kill him. But every time Lord Vishnu saved him, you know. So finally, when he was very, very angry, then Hiranyakasipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, I want to know where your Vishnu is. Then Prahlad says, he is everywhere. Then Hiranyakasipu asked, is he in this pillar? You know, in that palace, there was a pillar. So Prahlad said yes. So he was angry and he kind of tried to, with his fist, hit that pillar. And the pillar broke apart, and Narsingh Bhagwan came from that pillar. Narsingh Bhagwan ki jai. So this is kind of a short, brief history of this Narsingh avatar. And what had happened when he appeared, lion-like, you can see that by taking this incarnation, he fulfilled all the requirements or all the conditions that Hiranyakasipu asked. So he's not like man, and he like half man and half lion. So, in between. Then another thing which we can see here, it is not like daytime or nighttime. It was like a evening time, and he sat on the threshold of the house, not inside, not outside, and he asked for not on land, air. So he seated Hiranyakasipu on his lap, as you can see it here, and he killed him or tore him apart by the nails. Now, nail, as far as nail is concerned, they are neither live nor dead, So that is what he used, and they are not like weapons also. So, in short, this incarnation, Narsingh Bhagwan has taken in such a way that he kept all the conditions of the Hiranyakasipu, and then he killed him and saved the Prahlad Maharaj. So that was the intent of this avatar. Okay. So Hiranyakasipu was not killed on the land or air, but on the lap of the Supreme Lord. He was killed during the day, or not night, but twilight, means evening time. He was not killed by the beast or man, but by Lord's lotus hand. He was not killed with any weapon, but the nails of the Lord, like that, And he was not killed inside, outside, but in the doorway of the assembly hall, like that. So thus Hiranyakasipu's benediction from Lord Brahma remained unbroken. And he did it. So we will learn about this episode in 7th Canto in length also. So I hope this brief description will suffice at this time. And now we will move to the another incarnation called Vaman Avatar, which is this is the 15th incarnation. It is also a very nice episode, which we will learn in 8th Canto. But we'll go through some brief history of it. You can see the small boy here. Is Vaman in the 15th incarnation. He assumed the form of a dwarf Brahman, Vaman, and visited the arena of sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although at heart he was willing to regain the kingdom of the 3 planetary system, he simply asked for a donation of 3 steps of land. So here is the brief history that I will go through. That Vaman Dev is Lord Krishna's incarnation as a dwarf Brahman. Dwarf means small. You can see the Brahman boy. So his main feature is like he wore a belt made of munja straw. You can see he got belt around. It was a munja straw, an upper garment of deer skin, and a sacred thread. You can see he carried in his hands a danda, an umbrella, and a kamandalu, water pot. Also, let's see why Lord Vaman came. Lord Vaman appears as the son of Aditi and Kashyap. So Aditi and Kashyap, they are in a sun dynasty, beginning from Marichi and Kala. So from that, Kashyap and from Kashyap and Aditi, this Vaman avatar came. Now, during a period of intense conflict between the demigod and demon, the demon assumed control and sent the demigod into hiding. So Vaman Dev appeared to return the demigod back to their post. So that was his intent, that was his job. So let's say how he did this thing. So as a trick to return the demigods to their administrative post, Vaman Dev begged 3 places of land in charity from the leader of the demon, Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj was performing a yagna during that time. So by taking this dwarf form, Vaman form, he went there and on a pretext of begging 3 steps of his land, so it's kind of a trick that he was playing. So he went to the place where Bali Maharaj was performing austerity, sacrifice, big sacrifice, yagna. And normally in yagna, whoever performed the yagna, they give also donations, They cannot uh, ignore anybody. So, and especially when someone comes there, they satisfy them. Any brahmanas come there. So that's why he took a brahmana roop, small brahmana roop. And when he went there, actually Sukracharya, his spiritual master Bali Maharaj, Sukracharya, he was already warned him, He says that Bali Maharaj was warned by his spiritual master, Sukracharya, that the Brahman was none other than Lord Vishnu himself in disguise. However, as Bali had already offered charity to Vamandev, he thought it not fair to take it back, his offer. So when Bali granted his request, Lord Vaman assumed such a gigantic form that with 2 steps he covered the earth and then the entire universe. So there is no place left for the 3rd step. So then he asked for a 3rd step to Bali Maharaj. And you know what Bali Maharaj did? Bali Maharaj was then pleased to receive the Lord's lotus feet on his head. He says that now the last step you can put, that means Bali Maharaj completely surrendered to the Lord in that way. And because Bali Maharaj was son of Virochan, Virochan was son of Prahlad. So he was Prahlad's grandson actually, the Bali Maharaj was, even though he was in a demon family. But we can see in demon family also sometimes devotee comes, So that was the kind of a brief history of it. Here, the intent was to trick the Bali Maharaj and take this whole thing back and give it back to the demigod so they can be placed again into their post. That was the whole purpose. And by doing that, Vamandev has fulfilled the promise that he gave it to the demigods. That's it. So then the next incarnation, we'll talk about 16 incarnation, is also very interesting. That was regarding Parsuram, or his another name is Bhrugupati, as it is said in the slide. Bhrugupati, his name is Parsuram. You have heard his name probably in Ramavatar also. So in the 16th incarnation of the Godhead, the Lord as Bhrugupati annihilated the administrative class, Kshatriyas, 21 times, being angry with them because of their rebellion against the Brahmanas, the intelligent class. Brahmana is considered intelligent class. We see that there are 4 social order and 4 spiritual order. So social order is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, in which social Brahmanas are considered intelligent class. And the spiritual class, sannyasi is the highest one, like Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanprastha, and sannyasi. It's according to the Varnashram system. So there is little brief history on this Parsuram incarnation also. It says that Parsuram is Lord Krishna's incarnation who came to kill Kshatriyas. And he killed Kshatriyas 21 times. That's what he says. And his main feature, he uses his axe, as you can see in the picture here, which was presented by Lord Shiva to kill Kshatriyas. Now, why did he came? So there is a history that he appeared in Treta Yuga. As you know, there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So he appeared in Treta Yuga to kill all the Kshatriyas 21 times because they become arrogant and rebel against the Brahmanas. So let's see how he did all these things. So When the powerful warrior Kartvirya Arjun stole the Kamdhenu cow from Parsuram's father Jamdagni. Now, as we know that his father's name was Jamdagni and mother's name was Renuka. So they were living very peacefully. But one time the Kartvirya Arjun is another warrior, powerful warrior. He came and stole that Kamdhenu cow that Parsuram has. The reason they stole them is, they were once invited before this incident and they saw that Kamdhenu cow provided them lots of varieties of food. So they were sort of attempted to take that Kamdhenu cow. In that, during that incident, Jamdagni disapproved of this action and chastised Parsuram. He told him to go on pilgrimage to purify himself. Okay, so Parsuram took a revenge by killing Kartvirya Arjun because he stole this thing. But Jamdagni did not like it. So what Jamdagni did is that he told Parsuram to go to pilgrimage and purify yourself. So then now there is another incident. One time when Renuka, wife of Jamdagni, mother of Parsuram, went to the bank of Ganges to get water, she saw the king of Gandharva and became attracted to him and failed to remember that the time for the fire sacrifice had passed. When she returned to the hermitage, Jamdagni understood his wife's adulterous mind and told his son to kill their mother. But the sons did not carry out his other. This is other son. Parsuram was the youngest. There are some other sons also. So when Renuka came late and Jamdagni find out her motivation, then Jamdagni ordered his sons to kill Renuka, his own mother. Okay, but they did not. So then he ordered his youngest son Parsuram to kill his brother as well as his mother. So he had mentally committed adultery. So Lord Parsuram killed them immediately. Now, being pleased with Parsuram, Jamdagni allowed him to ask for any benediction. Then look at this, is very interesting. Then Lord Parsuram asked that his mother and brother are brought back to life and forget that they had ever been killed by him. So this is the incident that happened there. So once while Lord Parsuram went to the forest with his brother, the sons of Kartvirya Arjun decided to retaliate by beheading Jamdagni, just like coward. They did this while the holy sage was in meditation. So Lord Parsuram and his brother heard the piercing cries of his mother and returned to the ashram. When Lord Parsuram understood that had happened, he became very angry and vowed to kill the Kshatriya race 21 times. He then armed himself with an axe and bow and arrow and set off to roam the earth, killing Kshatriyas. So this was brief description of Parsuram Avatar, Bhrugupati incarnation. So I will stop here and we will take some other incarnations next week when we meet on Wednesday. And now we'll take some questions from you. We open up for question and answer session. Thank you very much for listening to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful talk. So I request to all the participants, please raise your hand if you have any question. So we will take one by one. Akshara, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is if the last avatar you described today, was he Parshram, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So she asked you, Prabhu, any question? Akshara? The next one is Ananya.
Okay, so my question, are there more than just 22 incarnations?
What is it?
Are there more than just 22 incarnations?
Oh yeah, there are so many. So incarnation, you cannot even count it. But in this chapter 3 of Shrimad Bhagwatam, only 22 are described, and there are some again in second canto of 7th chapter, and also in third canto we'll have some more incarnations. But actually, there are innumerable incarnations of Lord.
And what's the meaning of innumerably?
Innumerable means millions of, you can say, like there as many waves in the ocean, that many incarnations Lord takes, because there are so many universes, you know. So it is not innumerable, means it will not be counted. Just like if you go on a beach, you know, can you count the grain of sand?
No, it's too many.
So, yeah, so just like that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's my only question. Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna.
The next one is Shlok. Shlok, please unmute yourself.
Yes, my question is that is Indra Bhagwan's is Indra Bhagwan higher, is in a higher level than Shiva?
No.
So it's like Shiva's place higher than Shiva. Is Shiva's place higher than Indra?
Yeah, Shiva is higher than Indra also, yes. Lord Shiva is a Shiva Tattva. The Vishnu is Vishnu Tattva, Krishna's incarnation, Krishna's expansions, and we consider Jiva Tattva. See, Lord Shiva is in between Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva, our own Tattva called Shiva Tattva. Okay?
Okay, my other question is that wait, who's that son who became the king, the Ritu Maharaj, or who was that?
Rutu Maharaj, what
Yeah,
about?
Ritu
Oh,
Maharaj. Yeah, why did the sages kill his father?
because his father was a bad king.
Like a bad person?
Yeah, he was a bad person. He was not ruling the kingdom the way he should rule, because he was, you know, destroying all the religious places. He was against the sadhus and like that. So he was like demoniac king, you can say.
And then I have one more question. And
Yes.
it's about so you know that lion who killed Hiranyakashipu?
Yeah.
Was it like a so like they killed him on a without hand, and did they kill him? They killed him in the afternoon, and then did they but where did they kill him? Where did they kill him?
They kill him on the lap of that, you know, sitting on the threshold, not inside the house, not outside the house. Like there is a doorway, right? When you go outdoor, indoor, there is a doorway. So Hiranyakasipu was sitting on the doorway, and then he had the Narsingh Bhagwan was sitting there, and he took the Hiranyakasipu on his lap. So it is not considered in air or land or water, you know.
And his Narsimha Maharaj was a lion and a person, right?
Yeah, Narsingh Bhagwan was a combine of human and lion form.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
You're
Hare
welcome.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Your Tejaswini is raising hand. Tejaswini.
No, Prabhu. There is only two hands raised up. It's Charit and Nihal.
Oh, that I see that Tejaswini is raising hand.
Okay.
You see,
Prabhu,
Tejaswini. I see the name Tejaswini there.
Okay. Tejaswini, you have to unmute yourself and ask.
So, why did Parshurama want to kill his mother?
Because his father ordered him to kill, and because he wanted to follow his father's order.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Next, Nihal and Charit. Who is that?
Yes. Nihal, please unmute yourself.
So, which number of avatar did we end at?
What is it?
Which avatar did we end at?
Which avatar we today we ended at Parshuram avatar.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
We have some more incarnations to go. 6 more.
Prabhu, is it? So should we take another one?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. The Charit. Charit, please unmute yourself.
So my question is, I forgot my question.
Okay, so should we can take next one, and you can remember what you want to Prabhu. The next one is Adishri. Adishri.
I thought that the last slide you were telling about what was the last slide?
It's for Pashuram. Adishri. Adishri, did you hear?
I heard you.
Okay, so the last slide is for Pashuram. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, here is the last slide.
When you said that, I remember watching that video about Parsuram, but I thought when Shiva gave him the eggs, that was when he was called Parsuram. But first he was called Ram.
What is that?
I said I remember watching the video.
Huh?
And then in the video I saw Parsuram, but first his name was Ram, and then when he got the eggs, his name was Parsuram.
Oh. His name is Parsuram or Bhrugupati from the beginning. He also appeared during Rama Avatar. Well, which state are you anyway? So I'm not following your question.
Prabhuji, she asked when Pashuram is appeared, his name is Rama. When he take S, X to Pashuram's hand, then they called as a Pashuram. So is
Oh,
it or no?
I'm not familiar with that history. Maybe there may be some story. I don't know what videos he's watching, but I'm not sure about it.
Okay.
The next one is Ranjita. Ranjita, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's Mataji, it's Rishank, my son.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is a non-related question. Can I ask it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was wondering why does in some of the pictures I see in Shrimad Canto, Canto 4 part 2, I see some pictures of Indra, and he has so many eyes on his body.
Yeah, Indra got so many. Yes, yes.
I was wondering why.
Yeah, there was some story behind it. I have to, I will bring that information next week. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that I have also heard, but I haven't come across yet is the story behind it. But Lord Indra has so many eyes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there is some pastime of things is there, some history there. I vaguely remember it, but I don't have concrete information to give it to you at this time.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you.
Krishna, thank you.
Next one is Krishna Chaitanya.
Mataji, Prabhuji, can you tell me all the avatars or show me the slides?
Oh, okay. From the beginning of the
No,
slide?
what we just did today.
Oh, okay, sure. Let me go back. Okay, so we started with after the fish incarnation, right? Fish up we did yesterday. Today we did this Kurma avatar, then Dhanvantari and Mohini avatar, then Lord Nrsingadev, 14, and then Vaman is 15, and 16 is Bhragupati or Parsuram. Okay.
Okay, so should I take another one, Prabhu?
Yeah, one more and then we'll stop.
Okay. Charith, please unmute
So
yourself.
my question is, what's the last avatar of Vishnu?
Last avatar of means today.
No.
Oh well, his avatars will like a continuous going on. There will not be any last.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And in my other question, who's the father of King Putru?
Pardon me?
King Putru?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
So there was a form of Vishnu, right? I don't really know.
Prabhu, might be Charith want to ask who is the father of King Prathu, right, Charith?
Yes.
Father of King Pruthu was Vena.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Okay, Prabhuji. So,
all right. So
should we wind up our class, Prabhu?
Who has a question?
Prabhu, one shlok again he want to ask.
Okay. Let's take it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shloka.
Can you go share the screen again? And I want to see those slides.
Okay, which one? Which one you like to see? Shloka?
Shlok, are you there?
Yeah. So
Which slide you want to see, Shloka?
go straight from the Can you go straight from the first slide?
Today's slide or first incarnation?
No, yeah, from the first incarnation.
Okay. Here is the first incarnation.
Okay. Can you put it in full screen because I'm taking screenshots of it?
Yeah. Okay. 4 Kumaras.
Okay, next.
Varaha Avatar.
Okay, next.
Narada Muni.
Next.
Narada.
Next. 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 Next.
Do you have any questions, Shloka, or you have to click
So
only?
all I want to do is just I want to take a screenshot of all the
You will have it in your
incarnations.
YouTube.
No, Shloka, if you have any questions, so then you can take it. Otherwise, we already post all the classes in our YouTube channel, so you can look forward there.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have any questions, so you can go.
Do you have any question on any slides, Shloka?
Prabhuji, he only want to take a screenshot for all the PPT slides.
Oh. Okay, so we are done with the question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so I will log off. I'll leave the screen now. Hare Krishna, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful class.
You.
We
Hare
have
Krishna.
wind up our call. Vancha kaltarubhashya kapasindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much.